Hey guys, welcome back. This is going to be lesson 4 about splitting polygons. So let's get started. First off, open Maya, and then if you go into your project folder, go to Scenes, and you can open up Bevel. So hopefully you've already completed this. If not, you should watch the last video and complete it. And when you're ready, let's go to Save Scene As, File, Save Scene As, and rename this Lesson 4 Splitting. My ASCII file, and Save As. You should see it appear in your Scenes folder if you're not quite confident about where it's saving yet. So, splitting is there, sweet. Awesome. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to show you the two tools that we'll be using with a basic cube. So I'm going to make a cube. I want to isolate it. Press F to frame. And the first one is I'm going to show you Insert Edge Loop Tool. You can find this in the Mesh Tools. Now, if you don't have any of these Mesh Tools up here, make sure that this little workspace area is set to modeling. Okay? So Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. Insert Edge Loop. So essentially, if you click on your geometry on one of the edges, you can make a new edge loop. Now, let's go into the settings of this tool because it'll be pretty beneficial. You can enter the settings of the tool over here. You can just double click on it, and then we can mess around with the settings. The main one you need to know for this lesson is multiple edge loops. So if you click on that, let's make it 2. So now when I click on my geometry on the edge, it'll make 2 edge loops instead of 1, and it'll try to center it. So see that? Makes 2 edge loops. Once you place them down, they'll be orange. So you could actually scale them out if you wanted to. You could scale them out. You should be able to translate them too. Yeah. So you can adjust where they are. Okay. I want to reset that tool and then show you the next one. The other one will be in your modeling toolkit. So if you open up your modeling toolkit on the right side, you should go to multi-cut tool. And if you like Jujutsu Kaisen, it's kind of like Skuna's slash. So if you hold down, if you click, hold, drag, this will cut through the object. So that's pretty cool. Cut through all the way. But that is not the main reason why we're using it today. If you hover over your object and hold down the Control button, you can see that it makes an edge loop as well. So it's just a different way, and I think it's a quicker way to make edge loops. So I'm going to place one down, and you place down edge loops with the left mouse click. So holding down Control, left mouse click. Now, if you middle mouse click, it'll automatically, watch this, I'm over here, I middle mouse click, and it'll automatically go to the center, which is pretty neat. See that? It'll automatically go to the center. That'll be pretty useful later. To exit whatever tool you're using, I would click on Q. So watch this. It's going to go to my little selection button. I want to click on Q. I like to do that to make sure I'm exited out of the tool. Okay, so let's start on our first object. We'll go back to object mode. You can click it here or right click object mode. Click on your media center. Let's isolate it. Let's frame it. And we're going to add a bevel. So let's add a bevel to it. So if you go to components in your modeling toolkit, you can add your bevel. You can adjust the fraction to however you want it. So I'm going to adjust it about right there. Again, it's more of a personalized choice. And then we're going to add an insert edge loop and make 2 edge loops. So Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. If you click on this box to the right, that also gets you to the settings. So let's click on that. Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop, Settings. Make sure you're using multiple edge loops. Set that to 2. And if you'd like to adjust it, you can use R to scale. So I'm going to scale it out slightly. Again, just a personal choice or a stylistic choice. Next up, I want to make sure I'm exited out of the tool by clicking Q. I want to go to Object Mode by right-click, hold, Object Mode. Then I want to go to Face Mode. So right-click, hold, Face. I want to click on the front face right here. And then I want to extrude it and offset it. So click on the extrude button and then offset it in the settings. You can hold down Shift Control to have a little bit more precise measurements. Okay, to repeat this action, because now I want to extrude it inside to make like a little cubby, I want to click on G. So now I can repeat it, but I can't see where it is. So let's learn a new button. If you click on 4, the number 4, it'll go to wireframe mode. So now I can see where I'm putting my extrusion. Now I can make a little shelf. If you click on 5, that is shaded mode. So you can see the difference. 4, 5. 4, 5. It can be pretty useful. You can right click, go back to object mode, and that's pretty much it for the media center. If you want to add feet on the bottom, you can. You can add like cylinders and make feet or something. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the media center. Next up will be the bookshelf. So I'm going to show you guys how to make 2 cubby holes, but instead of extruding it back, we'll be able to go all the way through. So with it selected, let's isolate it. We are not going to bevel it this time. Let's go to the multi-cut tool in your modeling toolkit. Hold down the control key and you can slice it wherever you want. So I want to slice it about here. You can add more if you'd like to, but I'd watch the process first. Hold down Q or tap on Q to exit the tool. Right click, go to object mode. Right click, go to face mode. And we're going to select these 2 faces. So click, hold down shift, click. So I now have 2 faces, as you can see. Nothing else is selected. I got 2 faces selected. I'm going to offset that using the extrude button. So I'm going to extrude it and then offset. Now I don't want these 2 faces connected, so there's a new option. Keep faces together, off. So after you have extruded to offset, we're going to click on delete. We're just going to delete those faces. Next up, I would move over to the side, click, drag. Make sure you don't click and drag all of it. You just want to click and drag up to here and then delete. So that leaves us with our front face, only the front face. Now make sure you're in object mode for this next part. So right click, object mode. And then we're going to extrude. Extrude it out. Right click, object mode, once you're happy. And yeah, that's our cubby hole. Now the only thing about this is when you make it like this, the pivot point is going to be changed. So if I click on my object, see my pivot point is now different. So I want to click on D to adjust my pivot point. And I can click on V to snap it. Or you can click on the magnet up here. I snap it to my geometry. D to confirm. Exit isolation mode. V into snapping, snap it back to our wall. Great. Okay, now we're going to do one more, the door. So let's select your door. Let's isolate it. So we isolated the door. We're going to go to face mode, so you can click on the buttons over here, or the shortcut is right click hold, well, select your geometry, right click hold, go to face. You're going to select the left, top, and the right side. I did multiple selections with shift. So click, hold down shift, click, hold down shift, click. We're going to make a door frame, so let's extrude it out. So extrude, we're going to change the thickness. Awesome. Now let's select these front faces. So click, shift, click, click. You can either click on the extrude button or G to repeat the action. So I'm going to extrude that out. Sweet. I'm back in my object mode. Right click hold, object mode. Going to go to my multi-cut tool, hold down Control, and then place an edge loop. I want to exit this tool, whoops, by going to Q and object mode again. So yeah, you should have an edge loop. You should have a line across this. If not, let me know. So yeah. Then let's go to our face mode and select these two faces. So right click hold, face. I'm going to select the two front faces. So see, nothing else is selected. Nothing else should be selected, just the two front faces. We're going to extrude them to offset. I want to keep faces off. Keep faces off. Okay, the next part is a little weird, so please try your best on this. I want to go to the edge selection, so right click, hold, drag to edge selection, or you can click it up here. We're going to click on these edges, so hold down shift to select multiple. See how these edges are selected? Nothing else should be selected. Now, we are going to add a bevel to it. So it's going to be a little bit different, a little bit weird. We're going to add a bevel. So bevel, we're going to adjust the fraction. I'm going to make them a little bit closer. Now for this tutorial, I want to make it a little bit bigger so it's easier for you guys to see. Okay, so see how I adjusted the fraction. You got this nice frame. Now we're going to go back to face mode. I'm going to select this inner kind of like rectangles we just made, polygons. So click, hold down shift, double click. That should select the rest. Hold down shift, double click to select all those faces. So we should have both those kind of squares selected and nothing else. Now we're going to offset it and then translate it. So extrude, offset. So you can see how it's offsetted. And now we're going to translate it back. So I did not click on G, I did not click on extrude. We are just offsetting it with the translation. I mean, we did the offset, now we translate it back. There we go. So now it looks like a fancy door. Yeah, look at that. Let's zoom out. Right click object mode, exit isolation. And now we have our media center. We have our bookshelf and a fancy door. So yeah, that's all to this tutorial. Let's go ahead and save your project if you've not already. So Command save or file save, and that's it. If you guys have any questions, let me know in class.